What is up guys, it's your boy Cameron Bash here and I'm coming at you guys today with a special video where I'm going to be talking about WWE 2K22 and what this game can learn from the most recent WWE console game we had, 2K Battlegrounds. WWE 2K Battlegrounds released in September 2020 and was met with a mixed response. The game was an arcade brawler presented in a cartoonish style that saw WWE superstars compete in over-the-top professional wrestling matches. The game fell flat for a lot of people when it came to the limited customization options. The community had become so used to a vast creation suite with past games, so when WWE 2K Battlegrounds had little to offer, it left a sour taste in people's mouths. Not only was the creation suite limited, but the gameplay was quite limited as well. There were only 5 base movesets in the game, meaning everyone had identical moves to people of the same class as them, and only a few people had a couple of extra special moves to spice things up a bit. Match types were also few and far between, and the campaign of the game was also something that didn't live up to many people's standards. So, what were the redeeming qualities of this game? Well, despite the limited movesets, it was a fun, dumb game to play with friends. Whether it was trying to last the longest in King of the Battleground, trying to collect money in a steel cage match, or just going at it in classic one-on-one matches, this was the type of game that you could put in with your friends, whether in person or online, and just have a couple of hours of fun. It wouldn't be the type of game that you would play every day, but maybe once a week, once a month, something like that. However, despite its mixed reception, there are still a lot of things that WWE 2K22 can learn from 2K Battlegrounds, both good and bad. So let's get into some of those things right now. I want to kick us off on a strong positive, probably the best thing about WWE 2K Battlegrounds and something that I think WWE 2K22 must do if it wants to stay relevant in the gaming world. From the beginning of November 2020, 2K Battlegrounds released new characters into the game every single week for people to pick up and play. This lasted until March 2021 when the DLC cycle for the game came to an end, but what it was able to do over that period of time was amazing for players of the game. So many games are getting weekly updates these days because it's something that they need to do in order to be able to compete in the gaming world. If WWE 2K22 is only making a noise every couple of months like has been the case for WWE games in the past, then it's not something that the majority of gamers will be playing and coming back to on a regular basis. So yeah, I think WWE 2K22 needs to have this system of releasing new content into the game every week, but it needs to be way more expansive than what was the case with 2K Battlegrounds. It needs to start within the first 2 to 4 weeks of the game being out, not 2 months in, and it needs to last all the way up until WWE 2K23 releases. There's a great benefit to them to do this as well, as they could stand to make a lot of money from this. I think there should be some standard free things for the game, such as the new superstars, a couple of new moves that are specific to them, new arenas, etc. But then on top of that, they can easily add cosmetics at a cost, such as core parts, arena props, move packs, and so on. They would certainly need to look at this and find the right balance, but I think some stuff being paid and some stuff being free is a great way to go about doing things to keep everybody happy, and most importantly, coming back to the game on a consistent basis. If they were going to add a system like this to the game, then they would need to likely have something like a shop tab available in the menu as well. So let's talk about one of the negative parts of 2K Battlegrounds, and that's its store. The store in this game would allow you to buy bundles of superstars for currency that you earn in game or currency that you paid for. However, the bundle wouldn't optimize itself if you already had someone in the pack. So you'd actually be losing currency if you bought a pack that you already had a couple of characters owned in it. If WWE 2K22 is going to have a weekly update system with free and paid items, then they need to completely revamp the store that they've used here in WWE 2K Battlegrounds. It's outdated, it didn't optimize, it doesn't update very often, and quite frankly, for most players, it's just a useless feature. I've not met anyone who has actually taken advantage of anything from the store, bar maybe that one person for that one odd deal. A game feature should be worth more than just that one random time we all got to use it for a change. Another aspect of this game that had the community split down the middle was the lack of an accelerator pass at the launch of the game. In 2K Battlegrounds, if you wanted a character, you either had to unlock it wherever it was unlockable in the campaign, such was the case with the likes of John Cena, or you had to buy it using your in-game currency. You couldn't just have everything right from the start like you could with other WWE games, and that annoyed a lot of people. Personally, when it came to Battlegrounds specifically, I didn't mind it so much. With every character in the game having basically the same moveset, you were effectively just buying new skins with your currency, not any type of competitive advantage for the most part. The experience from one character to the next wasn't anything too drastically different, so I didn't care that I didn't have everyone from the get-go. And then if there were any characters that I actually wanted, then it just gave me an incentive and encouragement to play the game and actually unlock them. However, for the sake of WWE 2K22, I think this is a mistake that 2K should learn from, and I think moving forward, every WWE game should come with the option to unlock everything off the bat. Funnily enough, the game actually now features what they're calling the Ultimate Brawlers Pass, which is the accelerator pass that so many people were asking for from the very beginning. If they had put this in from the get-go, it would have satisfied a lot of people's itch for the game, and likely would have made them a lot more money. Something else that I admired about 2K Battlegrounds that I think would be great to pick up on for WWE 2K22 is the idea of doing crazier things, because at the end of the day, it's still a damn video game. WWE games have always tried their hardest to be as close to the real product for the longest time now. WWE 2K20 broke the mold a lot with the Originals packs, and 2K Battlegrounds kept this going with things we've never seen before as well, like the previously mentioned King of the Battleground and the electric steel cage where you had to collect money. If you're too heavily focused on making the game super real, then fun things like this don't make it into the game. I think they need to have a balanced approach to the game this time around and have a nice mix of the realistic and the wacky. Another thing that I sincerely enjoyed about 2K Battlegrounds was its story mode. No, I know I said at the beginning that this was something that not a lot of people were a very big fan of, but personally, I love the attempt to do something unique and different. For most people, the comic book panel way of telling the story was the part that let people down, as they thought it was lazy and would have rather had a cutscene. However, I enjoyed the fact that it was telling a story that we would have never heard before, and was quite refreshing to see all these WWE characters involved in. For so long now, we've had the same old showcase modes that feature a story that we already know the outcomes and conclusions of. This is a video game. We need to have original content that we can care about with characters that we can care about as well. Road to WrestleMania was an amazing mode from WWE Games Pass, as it featured a unique story that we could actually get invested in and be surprised by, rather than something that we already know. WWE 2K22 needs to break the cycle, stop giving us modes and stories that we've already seen before, and actually give us a unique experience that will make 2K22 stand out from the crowd as its own unique game. And seeing as we started things on a positive note, let's leave it on a negative one, with the thing that I hated the most about WWE 2K Battlegrounds: the goddamn repeated movesets. Now, I know I've mentioned it a few times throughout the video, but I haven't quite mentioned my disdain for the fact that they did this. Even without character customization, if every character in the game would have had a completely unique moveset to themselves, then people would have gotten so much more life out of this game. But no. Someone somewhere decided that giving everyone their own unique moves for this game would have been too much work and didn't put it into the game. All you need to do is look at a game like WWE All-Stars to see the point. That game didn't have much customization, but that game did have a unique experience for every character in the game. If WWE 2K Battlegrounds would have had that, it would have done so much better. Moving forward into WWE 2K22, I don't think they can afford to make any sort of cuts like this, especially when it comes to features that we use on a regular basis. And before anyone says, well, it's just Battlegrounds, they wouldn't do that in the main game, just check out modes like Create a Wrestler, Highlight Reel, and the gameplay and controls of a game like WWE 2K20. Lots of shortcuts were taken, which in turn led to a lot of bugs for players and made some of the modes just awful and unfun to use. Shortcuts like these can't afford to be taken if 2K wants to deliver on a great experience for WWE 2K22, so come on 2K, let's knock it out the park. And that's gonna do it for this video, guys. So just to summarize, the things that I think WWE 2K22 can learn from WWE 2K Battlegrounds are as follows. Release new content on a weekly basis, have a better shop feature to support the weekly content, add an accelerator pack at launch, unique modes that don't necessarily need to be based on something in real life, a unique story that isn't yet another showcase mode, and to stop taking shortcuts and make sure they deliver when it comes to every single mode that they want to put in this game. If you would like to see these ideas carried over into the development of WWE 2K22, then be sure to leave a comment on this video letting me know, or tell me your own ideas in the comments down below for what you would like to see in 2K22 instead. Either way, let's get a healthy discussion going in that comment section down below for what we would like to see in 2K22, in case a developer happens to cross by this video. And of course guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like on it and subscribe for more WWE 2K22 content. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Peace. Hey guys, thanks very much for watching that video. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more from me, then I'm live on Twitch most days of the week. You can find a link to that down below, along with links to both my Twitter and Discord server, where you can find out when I go live. I look forward to seeing you over on a stream.